We're here, we're finally at launch day. Here's 15 tips to get you started. Starting off, let's talk about downloading. Currently, you have a few options. The first option for most players would be the App Store, Play Store, or Epic Games Store. This is the easiest way to download it, but if you're interested in playing the official launcher, just go to the website and download there. I'll leave a link in the description. For my second tip, don't re-roll unless you're masochist. It takes 40 minutes each time to re-roll. It has no guest option. The rates are not very good at a 0.8% chance of rolling a 5-star. And overall, it'll just diminish your experience. Maybe try it a couple of times, but I wouldn't recommend doing it too much, especially with the 2 beginner banners. Talking about the beginner banners, you have 2 in Wuthering Waves. One with a 20% discount and a 50 pity guaranteed 5-star, and the other with a normal pity of 80 that opens up after the first banner is finished, which will guarantee you any 5-star character you like. Due to this, just play through the game, unlock the character you want. You don't really need to reroll that much. On the subject of characters though, make sure to pull whichever character you like. Don't go for meta, pull whatever characters you like. The reason I'm saying this is because currently the meta isn't really established, first of all. And second of all, let's be honest, within a year, most likely 99% of the time, all of the launch characters are going to get power crept. There will be a better character. Just pull for the characters you like, the characters you think are cool, and don't really worry about meta. But if you are wondering what the meta characters are, here's tip 5. Apart from the banner characters, Xian and Yinlin, at the moment, the best and most meta characters would be Encore, Calcharo, and Verena. With Verena probably being the best option due to healing and buffing. The other 2 are very good though if you just want to DPS with them. Again though, you do not need to go for meta. Let me tell you this now. Another reason you don't need to pull for meta though is because the 4 stars are actually extremely good in Wuthering Waves, even beating out some of the 5 stars in some situations. Some good 5 stars to get would be Mortify, and Dungeon, along with some you get for free, being Sunhua, Baiji, and Yang Yang. Talking about free characters, we got a lot of free rewards. Starting off, in your mail, you'll have 30 standard pulls and 10 limited pulls, along with 200 Astrite. Then along with that, you'll also have a lot that you earn through leveling and just logging in. Okay, for the next tip, tip 8, let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. In Wuthering Waves, you have a lot of aspects of the combat system that may be a bit confusing starting out. First off, you don't just have normal and heavy attacks. You also have a full aerial aspect of the combat. Not only are there plunging attacks, but full combos that you can do in the air. Don't forget to keep that in mind for some bosses. Might be important. Another aspect of the combat system is the Forte circuit. This is a bar at the bottom of the screen that will fill up depending on how the character's kit works. But generally, it's just attack, build it up, which will then unlock an ability. Dungeon's bar, for example, is used in her damaging form. To build up, then, when you switch back to her normal form, she heals a certain portion of damage depending on how much of that bar you filled up. That isn't the end of the ability options in this game though. along with the basic skill and ultimate, also known as resonance skill and resonance liberation in Wuthering Waves. You also have your intro and outro skill, which will build up by attacking and dodging and then give you certain effects when you switch in and switch out of combat. That's enough about the combat system though. Next up, let's talk about the echoes. These are basically monsters from the open world that you have a chance of obtaining with every single enemy kill. My main tip for farming echoes would probably be just to follow this map on screen now. That'll give you the most efficient farming routes. I'll also leave some great guides in the description. If you're not interested in a tip about farming though, let's talk about what the echoes are used for. Some of you may think it's just a cool extra ability, and you would be right. It is a very cool extra ability. But they also have a second use, being giving you extra stats like artifacts in Genshin, for example. Along with this, they also have set bonuses. If you're wondering what echoes are good for which characters though, I'll just leave a guide in the description, but also over the next coming weeks, I'll be making guides on every single character if I can. So like and subscribe and stay tuned. Next up, here's a quick tip for weapons. At launch, we'll be getting 2 free weapons, a 4-star selector and a 5-star selector. You may be wondering, what weapon should I get? Well, personally, I'm going to recommend pistols since they buff the entire party for 10% attack, which isn't a lot, but I think it's better than the buffs that the other weapons give. And you can also use it on one of the best characters in the game, Mortify. But honestly, just get whatever you want, honestly. For the character you want to get, just get that weapon. If you're pulling for Yinlin or Xian's weapons, though, maybe go for something else because you don't really want to dupe up on weapons. But honestly, though, for tip 14, I'm going to say something that goes a bit against pulling for Yinlin and Xian's weapon, and that is you do not need to pull on those weapons, especially when you have a 5-star selector. It's not that much of an increased amount of damage, and I do not think it's worth wasting 80 pulls on. Even though it's only 80 pulls, it's still pulls that you might want to use to pull on a character later, and I wouldn't recommend going for a 5-star weapon, especially considering the fact that 4-star weapons are actually pretty decent in this game. I really don't think it's worth going for a limited 5-star weapon. Moving on to tip 15 though, the last tip. If you can hold off pulling, do it. You do not need the 1.0 characters just because they're there. Only pull if you like the character. Don't pull just because you see someone pulling online or your friends think that you should be pulling. Pull because you like the character, not because of some social outside pressure. Just pull if you want to pull. Don't feel pressured to pull. It's not that big of a deal if you don't have one character from 1.0. Honestly, they're going to be replaced in a couple of patches. You do not need to pull. It's okay. Overall though, one extra tip, just have fun. You don't need to stress about the little things or whether it's going to be better than another game or, oh, should I be using this character or that character? Just have fun. Enjoy the game. You don't need to worry about what's going on social media or whatever. Just sit back, relax, and make the most of it. You only live once, and have fun while you can. This is going to be, in my opinion, an amazing game, so just sit back and enjoy the experience. Anyway, that's going to be all for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah. Have a good Wuthering Waves. Peace.